Well, once I found out what Dr. Jerome Gafford's nickname was when he calls himself the sales doctor, I go, wow,
Yeah.
we got a doctor in the house. So what was interesting is I met Jerome, gosh, I'd say a while back, and we kind of brought our relationship, face to face when I met him at the Outbound conference actually last year in Atlanta. And it's really cool because I'm a firm believer that relationships and conversations start in many different ways. And I know we're going to be talking about it today. And I've just enjoyed my conversations with Dr. Jerome Gafford. And then when I found out that he goes by the sales doctor, this is cool. So we have a doctor in the house, Daryl. Welcome,
Yeah.
Dr. Jerome Gafford to Selling from the Heart.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Man, we're glad you're here as well. And I'm really, really looking forward to our conversation today. But you know the question that all of our guests get at the beginning of the podcast, and I'm really looking forward to hearing your answer to what does it mean to you to sell from the heart?
Wow, that's one of those questions that you have one of those run-on answers for. But for me personally, I come from a sales background prior to getting into education, and for me, selling from the heart always meant understanding your customer and focusing on the customer more than focusing on yourself. And so many times, and I think in the business world today, especially, salespeople are bombarded by so many things, and they lose focus of the primary reason that they're in a selling profession, and that is to serve others. So many people focus on serving themselves. And I think if we kind of take that step back, and part of what I do and how I present information when I'm working with students, when I'm working with corporate folks, is to, let's focus on, what the customer's needs are. And the first question I always ask them in a training session is, what are you selling? And have them list the 4, 5, or 6 things that they want to list that they're selling. And then I ask them to say, okay, what is your customer buying? Mm-hmm. And almost inevitably, those are 2 totally different lists when we look at that. And so what I try to get the salespeople focused on is we need to focus on what it is that our customers need. And that's where the selling from the heart comes into play. I know a lot of people say the most important space for a salesperson is the space between your ears, the brain. I tend to believe that it's the space between the brain and the heart. And if those 2 are not connected well, then the possibility of you being successful and serving your customers becomes very small at that